pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic which stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Honor the
Texas flag. I pledge allegiance to thee, Texas, one state, under God, one and indivisible.
Any members of the public who wish to speak shall each have 2 minutes.
Sorry, real quick. Good morning. Good morning, Commissioners. Just a request for a phone number at the end of this. If you have a connection with Tarrant County Water District or Calpine Celestial, I would like to have a ER connection here, if possible. Okay, so thank you.
Yeah, the Calpine, definitely. Make a phone call and get you something on.
I appreciate it.
Anybody, other members of the public wish to speak? If not, we'll move on to item number 1 on the agenda to approve the minutes of the July 1st, 2026 regular meeting and July 1st, 2026 special meeting. On the July 1st minutes of the meeting, I would like to ask that on number 14 that we rescind that before we approve the minutes. We do have it on the agenda today on item number 10 to revisit the verbiage on the personnel policy for training reimbursements. What we approved last time, it states in there that retirees would have to reimburse, and we don't feel that that would be, it wouldn't be right to ask someone who was employed and getting mandatory training to have to repay themselves retired with people employed in kids. So, if I could get a motion to rescind item number 14.
Judge,
Yes.
well, since Clyde is the one that made the motion, he needs to rescind
Okay.
his vote.
If we have somebody that's retired, and it's mandatory schooling, then I don't say you can, I don't see how you can make them.
That's
Yeah,
why
but I mean, that would just be, to me, that would just be something that would be.
Yeah.
I understand that. I mean, to me, that'd be something that would just be, but I'll rescind my motion. I second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Carried.
Now, once it's being rescinded, you can approve those minutes. I will
Yes.
put that language in number 14, rescinded.
approve the minutes of July 1st and July 8th.
Second.
Motion and a second, all in favor, aye. Motion carried. Item number 2 is waiver of first amendments.
Make a motion. Set the budget transfer and amendment. Budget transfer. Did.
I second.
Motion and a second, all in favor, aye. Motion carried. Item number 3 is to approve the bills. 2 cents.
What's this deal on the sheriff, 200, that big number? What page is it on?
Because of tax sale.
Oh, okay.
We received all that money. We had 2 properties that sold well above the minimum. I think one was 30,000 minimum, bring 98,000, the other was about 17,000, something there, bring 80,000. So, I think there were 4 properties sold. The fourth one on the bottom sold at minimum bid.
Okay, I was just curious. That was something I wasn't reporting to me.
County, care of prisoners. That was back in 2. That was their, 2 months. 2 months on regular inmates, and then there was 1 inmate in particular that was in 7 to the last one. A lot of money to send them again. Female, the only female.
She was there a while.
I make a motion to pay the bills, for the pay bills.
Second.
Have a motion and a second, all in favor, aye. Motion carried. Item number 4 is to approve payroll.
There you go.
Motion and a second, all in favor, aye. Motion carried. Item number 5 is monthly reports. That's this first report from county. come in under miscellaneous, it's just a reminder, but on the Mid-East Texas Groundwater District, the districts that have more than 50,000 people, the person serving on that board cannot be elected to another position. And when we voted to put John Fryer on the board, he was just, he brought this to me to let me know, I think Anderson County, I believe it was, that had a member that was also on the school board or something and was elected somewhere else. And basically you can't have that, so some of the voting that they did was.
It affected their, affected their.
Yeah, which I think that affected in a positive way because of the situation at hand over there. Long story short, right now, the Mid-East Texas Groundwater District, with this 2020 census showed a population of 48,609. So if that number grows to over 50,000, then we would have to appoint someone else other than him, someone that's not elected officials. Kind of misplaced. Upwood Fire turn-in report for the month of June. 14 total calls in Freestone County, total 34.5 man-hours. One grass fire, one motor vehicle accident, 2 aircraft standby, 10 medical assist. June report from the district clerk. Any other reports? Not there a motion to approve the report?
I got it.
Oh, yeah, I do. One other thing.
So, as most of you know, FEMA, when we worked on doing all the flood damage and everything, getting all that reimbursement, all that stuff, we got an email yesterday, we were awarded 143, 166, 57. That should be the last of the awards that we would get. That's 2.5 hours of work that we put in. A lot of time on that. Last thing we should do, we should be getting done with them is reimbursement for all the time that I spent on it for that and everything. And then ICS 300 and 400 classes. I've been working with Jim. We're going to look at bringing those later August, September. Those classes are 100% free. You never have to pay for these classes, ever. It's just getting people to show up for them, which seems to be an issue in Freestone County. And we also had an alert and air class week of the 22nd, I believe. That was hosted at the intermediate school. We had no Freestone County law enforcement presentation at that at all. And it was in our own county. It's pretty sad to see, but Limestone County held it up and took care of it and made sure the class was still done.
Any other reports? Motion to accept this report.
Make a motion.
Second.
Motion and second, all in favor, aye. Motion carried, item number 6, Birmingham.
No action.
Action. Item number 7, special road use agreements. I don't have any, y'all know. No road use agreements, we do have a plan, item number 7.
This is the Boston Ranch, County Road 353. That application, the taxes, it's got a tax certificate. Yesterday, I think we had trouble with the computer, but we got it. Yeah. Here it is. Last attempt. Good copies of it. This is the phase 2 of the last one that we just did, I think 2 weeks ago. This County Road 353. Stone Range property.
Everything checks off. Is there a motion to approve this?
I make that motion. Second.
Have a motion, second, all in favor, aye? Motion carried.
Are they here to file it?
They are.
They are.
Okay, good.
From all this time, staff will go to item number 8 to approve bonds and education certificates. One. Tommy Jenkins. 2 hours of training for the Texas Department of Public Safety, law enforcement education, adult prosecutor. Any other bond registration certificates? Now is there a motion to?
I'll make that motion.
Second.
Motion second, all in favor, aye? Carried. Item number 9 is to review and consider action on approval of the new sheriff's office and constable fees. I think on the constable part, we don't have that one, so we can approve the sheriff's fees today. And,
They're combined.
It's all on one sheet.
is it all? I thought there was something missing on here.
There's a few things for our writs that were a little bit different. We forgot to put the storage fee on possession and writ execution. So there's a few things that are different, but generally it's all the same.
Is this what needs to go to the state, or are you adding to this?
That one will be, there will be an updated version of that one, that we're gonna have done by next week. It's gonna be that, but just with a few addendums on there.
Would be best to approve this one today and then approve the remainder in 2 weeks.
I have to turn it, submit the final one to the state, so I'm not gonna have 2 separate ones to turn in. This has to be complete.
So we need to table this.
Do y'all want to try to go get what you like added while we're in court today, and we can go back and revisit this item?
We can just get a copy and write it down on there for you. Will that work?
And I can update it.
Yep. I'll
Yeah.
take this copy. We'll come back to number 9. Item number 10 is to discuss revising verbiage on personnel policy documents for training reimbursements.
Last week when we were changing the handbook had stated something about the retirees in the training reimbursements, and we felt that to be in compliance with any kind of elected official or appointed official, that they're required to have hours to remain compliant with the state to keep our jobs. So we wanted to remove the retirees out of it, and I have wrote down on that sheet, Brian, just to formally reword it as if they voluntarily quit or terminated in the handbook instead of quit or retire. I think that would.
I mean, I do, it's up to y'all, but I do think, didn't really think about that issue, but I do think there's a difference between putting somebody through training, new hire and them, that's been,
It's geared for that.
that's been the issue, not a retiree has never been what the point of this has been. So I like the change up in the new language.
Thank you, Lewis. You want to read the new verbiage to us so we can approve it?
What do you want in there?
Yeah, so originally, we had approved last week, an employee who quits or retires within 1 year after receiving county paid training must reimburse the county for that training via payroll deduction from their final check. If there's a remaining balance and the employee the employee will be invoiced from the treasurer's office. Instead, I think it needs to say, an employee who voluntarily resigns or is terminated within 1 year after receiving county paid training, and so on. Just to take that who quits or retires out and replace it with an employee who voluntarily resigns or is terminated within 1 year.
Agreed. Is there a motion to accept that
I'll make that motion.
change in policy? We rescinded the other, so there was no
Correct.
vote as of this morning.
I'll make that motion.
Second.
A motion and a second, all in favor, aye?
Aye.
Motion carried. Item number 11 is to discuss and consider possible action on appointing a committee for group medical insurance.
Last week we had discussed that we would appoint an insurance committee. I did get a few volunteers. I need 5 people, so it can be department heads and elected officials, or the elected official can appoint an employee to be on that board, so we can review all of our medical insurance packets next week. Right now, Kelsey has volunteered, Callie has volunteered, Tammy Carruthers has volunteered, and Scott Shaw have volunteered. So I don't know how we want to appoint anyone else, or if that would be okay with the commissioners to.
I told you last week to put my name in that if you want to. I don't mind being,
Okay.
coming with this.
Okay.
This is kind of serious business.
So as of right now, I have Kelsey, Callie, Will, Tammy, and Scott.
And I'll set in when y'all do the meeting.
And I'll have to be a part of it, just with the insurance packets, so. But I wouldn't do any judgment on it, so. That would be our 5.
Perfect.
No, I don't know, this is serious stuff.
A motion for appointing those county employees for the committee group on medical insurance.
I'll make that motion.
Second.
Motion and a second, all in favor, aye?
Aye.
Motion carried. Item number 12 is purchasing drones for Freestone County Emergency Services.
So we had talked about it a while back, doing drones. We were at 2, then we went back down to 1. We talked with a few about doing the 1. Logistically, it'd just be almost a nightmare to make sure that one drone was where it needed to be every single day for if I'm gone at work, or Ron, who would be the other pilot operating it. If he's out of town, making sure there is someone there that can operate that, or at least get it to a pilot that can operate it. We discussed leaving it in TIG or leaving it in Wortham or somewhere where those 2 pilots are. And just that logistical aspect of it, we figured it may be better to see about just doing the 2, so that we're not having to chase each other around trying to make sure that that drone's available every day.
Could you also touch on the drone itself as far as being able to fly?
Yeah, so the one that we have right now is just, it works, but if it rains a little bit, we have to put it up. Not too long ago, I flew it in the rain. Well, it was starting to rain. There was a missing kid. I figured a missing kid is a lot more important than a piece of equipment, so I kept it out there. The Cure was there with me. We kept flying. Luckily, it did make it back, but the new ones that we have quoted, they can fly in any kind of weather. So rain, snow, I mean, they're covered for anything that we could face out there. These will handle it.
And these are more built and sold for this specific use?
Yes, sir. Yes.
So how many?
Are they thermal?
Yes.
Are they thermal?
Yes,
You just
sir.
have, you just have one,
One.
it's not functioning, it won't function the way you need.
So if It will, but if certain, like I say, if they start training, it's got to be put up. And there's just, it's not built for that.
Right.
Yes, all of them are thermal. Obviously, this new one is a whole lot better than the one we have right now.
How many people do y'all have that apply or eligible to apply or have a license? You have to have a pilot license, whatever it is?
Yes, you do.
So how many people?
So right now, we have myself, and then there's a couple of guys from Tick Fire Department that I talked to the other day that want to do it, so I want to help them get theirs.
Right.
So there'll be multiple people, at least from on my side, from Tick, that will.
And then I'm taking my test today.
I'll have to get that. I don't have the amount for the Southern Oaks Fire Department.
Okay.
Yeah, so we'll have to take that out of their 1.5.
The monies used to pay for these would come from the South Shore donation.
We had some left over, and it's gotta be earmarked for emergency service, it's earmarked for emergency
It's
services.
earmarked for that, it definitely falls under that category. I know there was a little over $100,000 left,
But I
about
think,
900.
I think
and
we
then
also still have invoices coming in for the radios.
we had to get a few more.
We had to get a few more, those around 20. One of those was around 20, we had to buy 7 more radios.
And then were we having other
And
invoices?
we'll have invoices for antenna, coax, and then.
So how much are we talking about, really? I mean, I don't see nothing.
I'd say a quote, yeah, I gave a quote, I thought you put it in there with y'all.
We're thinking, like,
Yeah,
20
it's,
something bucks? Or was it 20 something?
I'm sorry,
Y'all told me to think that. Is that a different deal?
Not a piece,
It was total, wasn't it?
Yes,
a
sir.
little over 20.
Yeah, maybe that's what it was.
It's, for the 2 of them, the cheapest one that we found was 25,000 something. These 2 are, this one's for 26, and this one's for 27.
And that's for 2.
Yes, sir. I can pull this, I'll pull this other one I said.
Well, you ain't talking about.
Yeah, it's like randomized, no more, there's difference in the price.
Which
You
one-
know, get the best.
Which one's the best?
This one, the one that I thought was in your packet, I'm sorry.
The one he's looking for
I'm
is,
trying to pull it back up real quick.
it's 25,898.
That's the model you.
Yes, sir, so that's, all of these quotes, that's the same model.
Oh.
It's the same exact package, just from different companies.
Oh, I got you, okay.
And this is the company that offers the
I
best.
got you.
Yes, sir.
25,898, and that's for 2 drones.
That's,
What about all the stuff that goes with it, your batteries?
That's everything.
Batteries?
that's 2 drones.
Y'all can
That's,
get it, fly, go.
yes, sir. It's 2 drones, 2 of the big care package, so if something goes wrong, we send it back to the people, they fix it, and send it back to us. It's 8 batteries, so 4 apiece. 4 sets of extra blades, spotlights, the speakers that when you can talk to people. Sure I'm not missing anything. Hard carrying cases.
So they have a program on there for anything, if anything happens to it within the first year, you can send them that body back. It's fully replaced.
Is there any kind of reliability to where, I mean, if it falls out and lands on a car, I mean, is that, do we have, would insurance cover that, or?
But we carried on our insurance at the fire department, and they cover.
Not just the machine, but just if liability if something happened.
Yeah, that's what our insurance said they would cover if anything happened.
Yeah, I would think it'd be no different than any other piece of equipment.
It's just an
I would
aircraft.
think.
It's just an aircraft.
Yeah.
It's just an aircraft.
Where will they be kept at? At the fire station?
Yes, one of them would be kept at the fire station.
One of them would be in TIG, the other would stay in my top.
We got that.
Personal code, your county code.
Yes, sir.
What happens if
No,
it
that's
works
gonna be-
somewhere else? What happens? Can somebody get it?
Someone's always able to get it if it's needed. Yes, sir.
Would it be better
Is
just
it-
to sort it to work in fire department and have one or two? So that, is there anybody working that's capable of
I
flying?
will be today, but I would be the only person.
I mean, can we get somebody else up there that can fly?
They'd have to go through the course, yes, sir.
Y'all everybody was supposed to do that?
We can ask.
Okay. How many hours is it now? It's a lot. There's a lot to it.
Yes.
Yeah, it's been 13 years since I have got my license, so I can't remember the actual course.
All I like is taking my test.
We have a course, an online course in DIG that you get on there and you can take that course and it'll basically teach you everything you're supposed to know to go take your test. Because the test, you have to go to a federal testing center and they sit there and watch you take this test.
Did you make the one?
I've got a motion.
I second. I second.
Have a motion and second, all in favor, aye?
Thank y'all.
Motion carried, thank you all.
So Joe Blow that goes and buys one off of Amazon, and he just lied.
No.
Huh?
Like the one that I have? Yeah, I have a license.
You got that?
What determines you, what's the difference between, what kind of, the ones we've got, we use? What are?
What do you guys,
I'm sorry,
the height of flying a drone, is it what is it, 400
So,
feet?
yeah, so it's, the height is 400 feet above ground level, unless you can go 400 foot above the tallest structure that you're within 400 foot of.
But to fly one, you have to have
So to fly a drone commercially, which is what they consider this, what we
Okay, so it's considered commercial.
is a called Part 107 license through the FAA. If you wanted to have a drone just to go check cows, that's not a commercial flight. You can get one, you can fly it all day long.
That was my question, my question was what determines having a license and not?
Yes, sir, yeah, it's commercial. They say if you make money doing it, or something like that, it's commercial. But I know I'm not getting paid to do it, but I still fall under the commercial side.
well, thank you.
I don't like to hear that, I didn't want to hear that. Yeah, she uses it in real estate all the time, doing aerials.
Well, you're looking at
Yeah, just doing it, we can call it.
We're on item number 13, budget workshop. Anybody here to speak on behalf of budget? I don't have anything.
I brought one thing, just so y'all know, it's in your folder, and we hadn't got to it yet. But I met with Ms. Beth Harrison, that's on the Veterans Barbecue last week. We spent about an hour and a half visiting, and she just had that printed out. I wanted y'all, everybody to have a copy of what, and basically they appreciate everything, we did. It kind of helps, we're the main reason they can kind of keep things going over there.
I guess she showed it exactly what we give.
Yeah, and it pretty well, that covers everything, they have a little electric bill, but anyway, I just wanted everybody to have that. Yeah.
So if there's nobody here for a budget workshop, again, I think we've kind of caught up until Dan gets the ARB finished there.
It's a statutory deadline for the chief appraiser, July 25th.
Right, but don't they finish, the board finishes up today, I believe?
I don't know their schedule, but
I'd say.
But they do try to schedule their hearings for 95% of the roles, well, less than 5% of the roles under protest at the time of certification.
Yeah. So I guess on item number 13 will be a no action today. Now we can go back up to item number 9, review and consider action on approval of the sheriff's office.
What would be the difference in the sheriff's office?
There is no actual difference, they're both combined fees, we just all have to agree on them after we discuss them and set them. I had gone through all the available files we could get from the comptroller's office, and many of our fees hadn't been updated since at least 2006. So with the cost of business going up, as well as increased postage costs and a lot of other things, we felt it was time to update some of the fees to reflect more modern expenses, if you will. So a lot of them only went up by $25. We kind of moved in line with a lot of the surrounding counties. We were able to do kind of like an economic survey between Limestone, Leon, Anderson. They had a section with the comptroller that you could select economic zones, and the economic zone that we fell in, some prices ranged from $85 all the way up to $175 on some things. So we picked a medium on most things of about $125. The ones that went up the most were writs, because they are more time intensive and they require a lot more paperwork and effort, if you will, as well as increased postage or travel costs or storage fees, which we didn't have set as a county before. One of the things that's new is the storage fee. If we have to do a writ of sequestration where we take a vehicle or any household property during a divorce proceeding or some kind of dispute, we have to securely store that equipment. And while we're storing that, the county does incur some liability on the protection of that item. So we felt it was right to incur a storage fee to help offset those costs. For example, if we had to buy another shipping container to store things, this money could help go towards covering the cost of that, instead of just it parking at one of the precinct yards and we're not collecting anything for it, except incurring a liability for it at the same time.
So parking it at one of the precinct barns, is that secured?
As long as it is a locked gate, it's kind of like an impound yard, as long as it's like a somewhat secured facility, locking it in a barn would be even better. I know at the precinct 3 yard, we have a couple of storage shipping containers that we secure a lot of things in. That would count as secured storage. As far as vehicles, we don't really have a set place to keep those right now.
So is it the stored vehicles, shouldn't they be stored in a storage facility, or there's the liability is there? I mean, we don't have, if somebody breaks in down here and y'all have a car that's y'all are holding and they steal everything out of it, we're liable for it.
We're supposed to secure that person's property. If we have it towed, we can use a tow yard. I know there was at least one case involving a vehicle where the court order specified that we have to bring it to the court. And so we couldn't take it to another place. It had to be brought to the court, and we had to hold it there until that was resolved. It all depends on what the order says. I mean, if we explain it to the judge, hey, we needed to say this, we can, but in that instance, we didn't have anything set up, so the court order just said, bring the vehicle to the court.
I know we might be getting off the beaten path here, but to me, if there's something that's going to be a vehicle that's going to be held somewhere, it needs to be held in a secure facility.
That would be best.
Storage facility.
Yeah.
Because when we park it on our property, we're liable for it. And my yard's not a secured facility. They get it open all the time, and there's people in and out of there, and if it's a stolen vehicle that y'all need to hold, it needs to be held in where it's protected.
If you did take it to a record storage yard, who would pay those fees?
Once it's released to whoever it's being released to, I imagine that person would be responsible for the fees.
Could that be put in the order?
That could, the judge could specify that, and it's like if the person is awarded this, then they have to pay it, or the person that it was taken from has to pay it. It just depends on how the judge would want to work that on the order.
How many vehicles do you think that were stored last year?
It's not many. It's pretty rare. I can only think of 2 out of your office. My office hasn't had to really do any. I don't have a place to store them all really. So we end up kind of feedback using the precinct 3 yard since it's here in the county seat.
If like to say the sheriff, they seize a car and they're holding it, then the county is liable for paying for the storage. That's why it winds up at
Precinct 3.
But if they're sitting in a storage facility and the heat, and the sheriff or whatever says to hold it, or the judge says to hold it, then the county's liable for
And the same thing applies to household goods. I know
If we have Texas tow and tow it, we're responsible for the storage.
it. If the judge or the sheriff has it towed to be held, yes, we're liable for the tow and the storage.
That we just put up a four-sided fence down there within the precinct deal just for putting cars in.
Yeah, Andy don't have very much room.
Well, you've got that rock, where you put that fresh rock, that'd be a perfect parking lot, wouldn't it? You got nice, you really made that place.
Anyway, can we go
Really fixed it up.
I've been trying to clean the place up.
I mean, you got it cleaned up in big wide areas, so I think it'd be a perfect place.
Yeah, over Warford, yeah.
I don't have a secure area.
You'll have a lot more room after that office.
Anyway, we're talking about this constable stuff here.
We changed the subject also.
So one more thing, so on your civil hours after 2 hours, did that price go up?
That did, so the county previously had it set after 4 hours, and it was $25 an hour after 4 hours.
Did you?
Every other county that we checked with, they charge after 2 hours, and it varied anywhere from $50 an hour to $100 an hour. But we had discussed maybe changing it to where it's $50 for the first 2 hours, and then anything after that is more, but we decided a flat rate was the simplest way to approach it, and go in the middle and do $75 an hour per deputy per hour.
So how many, have you had that happen? Because I had it happen to me several times, but who bills for that? How does
So
that?
I've talked to a couple of different constables' offices and counties, and they do it different ways. Sometimes the constable office is the one that has a sheet there on site whenever whatever writ is being executed is done, and if it goes over that time, they immediately go to the landlord or the property owner, whoever, and say, hey, we're here over this many hours. This form explains how much we're charging, why we're charging, and you're gonna be sent a bill. I've talked to some other counties where they explain it on the scene, and then they provide it to the treasurer's office or whoever sends out their bills essentially to contact that person with their contact information and send them you owe us this much for this kind of bill. Most of them served it on the scene, and most of the time that this applies to is like commercial properties or things that are involved in extensive legal disputes. And those are usually handled by the law firms, and they usually pay that day or the next day because that's just the cost of doing business for them. It doesn't really affect the local landowner, because most of the writs and stuff that we do that are local landlords and such, they don't take more than 2 hours. It's usually, we go in, they clean everything out, we serve the paperwork, whatever the case may be, and we're gone. One of them that I had to do, I had to evict an entire truck stop. So that took a while. So the county received $150 for that writ, and I was out there for about 8 or 9 hours. If I did the math, if we charged a $50 an hour fee on top of that, the county would have recouped at least $590 for that. But instead, all they paid was $150, and this was a multi-million-dollar law firm, so $150 for them was nothing. That was probably the lunch bill.
So these numbers are between y'all and the sheriff, everything's good, this is what y'all want?
Yes, we just wanted to clarify on some of the things, like on a writ of execution, where we may have to do a sale of property. One of the things that we didn't have on there, that we did have for an order of sale, which is slightly different, is that the county can also collect a 10% commission on those sales. Right now, if we have to do a sale on, let's say, a property that we have to put a lien on, the county, or a person pays $150 for that writ of execution, and that counts for all the time and all the effort and everything put into the sale. And then after we sell the piece of property for whatever it's valued at or whatever it sells for, the county gets no commission. So we wanted to change that because I mean, some of those take, what did we do on that one that you were helping me out with? I mean, we spent like 12 or 14 hours trying to put all that together, and all the county would have gotten for that is $150.
So you're saying that the county can charge 10% of what that property brings when it's sold?
Not the property value, but what the amount it sold for was, correct? We already had that for an order of sale, but it was not applied to, it wasn't applied to every sale, it was only applied to order of sale. And then the same thing for the writ of execution, that's where the property storage fee goes towards as well. If we have to seize a piece of property to sell it at auction, we have to store it, therefore it's taking up space, therefore it's incurring a liability. So that's why we also wanted to apply a storage fee to that as well. As well as postage and everything, because there's one I had to send off like 8 certified letters. That was like $80, and they paid $150 for the writ, and it cost the office $80 just to mail out letters. So that wasn't really productive cost-wise.
Motion to approve these changes?
Second.
Motion and a second, all in favor, aye. Motion carried. As far as Commissioner Court comments, I'll keep Karen Moore, Trans prayers, Karen, Trent's mother passed away. That's why Karen, she's out the rest of the week. Other than that, I don't have anything else.
Insurance committee will meet next Wednesday at 9 a.m.
Wednesday at 9
Don't we
a.m.
have a meeting at 9?
on the 22nd.
I mean, but our,
No, there's nothing on the budget
No, we don't have
calendar, no court.
Court next week.
oh, we don't have court next week. Okay.
Unless something
Or-
comes up.
Yeah, put it in.
Motion to adjourn.
You got it.